All right, good morning, guys. Happy Monday. Appreciate you guys joining. Let's get to it. So we have a lot going on in the market today, as you guys know if you've been following through the week. If you guys notice, I think it was Saturday, I put out something that said just be really careful, in the range because that 26K range that we were holding, it was holding pretty good support, right? So we were likely to get a pretty good bounce, which we did. You can see we're sitting here at 27,345 on Bitcoin. So and of course, like everything else is gonna it's gonna follow with it. So let's talk about the stocks. Then we'll get into the Bitcoin side of it. Part of the daily guidance that I put out this morning showed kind of where we were in the range on the SPX. I like following the SPX because it has the after hours. I mostly trade the SPY, but I like to follow this one because of the after hours. But like you guys know, I love to trade the ranges. You can see here we did have a nice little fall down, on both of these for kind of like a double touch, right, which pushed us up north. Just keep in mind, this red line, we've had rejections, we've had support, we've had a lot of rejections, we had another rejection, right? So just be really careful. The thing that I want to kind of point out too, guys, is notice, like many of you guys who've been following me for quite some time, we have a top peak here, right? And we're kind of getting that rounded formation. So it doesn't surprise me that we pump from 409 up to 414 or so because it's still within that range. I mean, if you really take like the bulk of where we've been trading in, right? It's pretty much been between 4100 and the upper level of 4150 area. So anywhere in there, we're just ranging. I still believe that we have not fully gap filled. If you take the kind of the lower and you take the upper, this lower is based off of here, so it might be a slight deviation more towards the upside, but I still believe we need to hit that like kind of 3990, 39, maybe 4,000 range. And then that would be considered the gap filled. Now, where we go from there just depends on the economy, markets, things like that. But, as far as looking at other technicals, our Bollinger Band is still holding green on the 6 hour. So if we go down to the 1 hour, you can see we're holding green. Let me remove these arrows. You can see we're holding green, but if you know how to trade the Bollinger Band, you can see we're starting to kind of tighten up a little bit. If we continue to range in here, that's going to continue to tighten, and then that explosion move is gonna come. But currently, the actual sentiment is green, even on the 1 hour. So, as far as the RSI goes, I don't really see any bearish divergence. I don't really see any kind of bullish divergence really either. So it's kind of we're in the middle of the road as far as the 1 hour, which you guys know I love to trade. So shorter term, we do have a lot of bearish divergence. It looks like popping up as far as our indicator goes. To me, they look pretty. So like you guys know, if you're looking at divergence, we do have lower highs here. But you can see it's not like super apparent, right? Like these are all equal highs. These are pretty equal highs. This one might be slightly lower. Nothing just really apparent, right? I mean, this is a higher high, so this doesn't shock me. Now, like this right here, right? This is an obvious bearish divergence setup right there, which you can see played out not only there but here. So just keep an eye on that. We do have, you can kind of, if you zoom, when in doubt, zoom out, right? You kind of got this rising channel. So if you would take like if you're trading today, right, you can almost kind of take that peak to peak like this and like that. And so we did get a little rejection off the Bollinger Band. And then I would suspect we'll probably bump our head if we do get up there somewhere around there. If you want to kind of like ride a ceiling, like my plays today for puts will probably be somewhere up in this range here. If we don't go up there, then I want to see it break this channel and retest as resistance, and then I will happily take that put. I will not be taking calls today. I'm okay if it pumps up. It doesn't matter. I'll just wait till it hits the ceiling and I'll ride that sucker back down. It's just too high in the range, guys. It's not worth it. Sometimes you miss pumps because of that game plan, and that's okay. Resistance lines are meant to be broken. So many people believe that coming up here pretty soon, this upper resistance line of 4190 is going to get broken, and so I don't really see anything that supports that, but I guess time will tell, right? So as far as the SPY guys, again, I don't typically cover both of them, but let's go into the SPY. Let's do our new indicator here and just see where we're at, see what gaps we have to fill. Yeah, look at this. Look at this pre. This pre was up to like 413.50 or something like that. It's back down to 412. I don't know that it's gonna hold. We'll see. But you can look at this upper level here around 413.60. I mean, we've hit it not one, two, but three times and fell all the way back down. At the end of the day, we're just ranging, guys. This is money. You don't have to do calls to make money or just to do puts to make money. You can do both, because we're literally, if you're bullish and you want to take calls, I suggest you do it somewhere around this 409 range, maybe 408, 407. These are all landmine areas that will pump up. And if you're looking to take puts, I would sit tight until you get something up in this range, around the 412.60 at that it is. So if it rejects off of this, I'll mark it open, then we're going down. However, if we flip this yellow line and hold it as support, then we're coming up to retest this. So if I were to take a contract on market open, what I would probably do is take my contract. I'll do a few extra days, maybe 7 or 10 days, just to be safe. And if it goes against me, right, I would take my, double my contracts up here. Now, as far as the high of high goes, right, we could see as high as up to this previous peak, 417. Now, if you go to the 1 hour, you're going to see we do have a 2 peak line that you can follow, which would be here to here. So if we do see a break north, it could hit as, I would say our high is like 417.30, something like that. Anywhere around there is going to just be a ridiculously good put. But keep in mind, guys, when in doubt, zoom out. Go to your 1 hour. You have your shoulder, your higher peaks, your highest peak, right? Your higher peaks that match this side. It's not unlikely for us to get a push north to match this side, right? So, which is pretty much where we're at. And then if this rejects, right, which you can take something like, you can take some kind of simple trend line, which it looks like it's already following like this, right? So you have peak, peak, peak. If it can't break this peak, if we reject at 413, I mark it open, right, then that fall is going to come in. It's going to be pretty nasty. So just stay safe out there. Be patient. If you guys want to come in the room, you guys can to trade with us. So we'll be trading options as well as crypto today. So let's talk about the Dixie. I'm just going to show this page here. This was the page that I sent out on the Daily Insight. So you can see, we have a few things going here. One, you guys who've been following me for some time, you know that this is the trend line that I was following forever. And we had talked about once we hold support on this trend line through this squeeze, then it would explode, and it literally did just that. So one of the greatest things that we teach in the community is not necessarily the trades you win, or even thinking about the trades you lose, right? It's about being able to anticipate movement, and when the movement happens, I mean, that's where the money starts to come in, right? Because now you've gotten to a point where your confidence level is high enough that you can make a decision based on good technicals, right? And you have that confidence because you've continuously called that. So, like we talked about back here, this was last week. Looks like Tuesday or Thursday that we talked, between Tuesday and Thursday, we talked about it. One of those. You guys can see I record everything if you weren't on it. But you can see we did, find that higher low than the previous one, right? Trend line anyways. We had that double bottom, kind of broke out. We had the retest here on the prior. So anything like we teach, guys, anything that acts as resistance and flips to support is typically going to be overly bullish. So We did that. You can see it almost literally to a T, actually. Watch. You can see it literally wicked to a T right on the line, exactly, and then shot up, right? So now we do have some gaps that have filled or been created, so we do need to possibly come down for a retest. We have one as low as the 101.5. Now, doesn't mean that we're coming straight there. If you zoom out, the most important part here, guys, I want you to really think about this. You have this line here that was resistance. And if you come back, I'm sure there's a lot of viable lines, right? But I think we put this yellow line here primarily because of this. Once this flips and holds as support, that move is going to be pretty drastic. Now, what I want you to also look at is just if you zoom out, it's the inverse of what the SPX is doing. So you have a lower here, a lower low, lowest low, right? A little higher low, then we pumped, right? So we could potentially see that rejection hold because of the fact that it's right in this area. Everything in crypto or stocks, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's always going to be very repetitive on what it has done on the side. So this side is going to act very similar to this side here. And so for us to hit our head here when we're about that same equal side on the other side is not uncommon, right? And that's why we had that rejection down. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to reject down to here. What it means is it could reject all the way down to maybe this side here, right? Or it may even hold this line. So I would suspect that it would hold this yellow, or it would reject to maybe this EMA here on the 1 hour. And then we would see another push north up into the 103 or somewhere around like 103.3, something like that. But to me, overall, it looks like we are rounding like this. I would suspect over the next, a few weeks or so that it's going to continue to round, come up and smack its head around here, around 104.5 or so. So just keep a close eye on the Dixie with that. So the VIX overall, guys, we're pretty high in the range. I mean, 1760. Can we go higher? Sure. We have all this up here we can hit. I mean, we've had this explosion back here. I would suspect, if you look at it, if I want to see what line I need to break, right, I'm going to take like this peak and I'm going to pull it down possibly to this peak. I might ignore a little bit of this one because we did get a hard rejection here, right? So if we flip this line to pump up north, then we're likely going down in a pretty big way. But however, if we do reject here soon on the VIX, and then we drop back down to the 16 level, we should see a pretty good burst north. So just keep a close eye on that. So Bitcoin, this is what I sent out in the room, guys. We do have a gap fill that never got filled from per our indicator here. This one looks like it was really close. And there's a little bitty one right there. The rest of them look like they're pretty filled. So, but as far as the zone tracker, it's tracking as high as 29.3. I don't know that we'll get there today. My concern here is I'm not surprised we had this pump because we did get this double bottom with this super bullish wick right here. But we do have this rising wedge that's playing out. So in order for me to believe that we're going to go any higher than maybe this gap fill, like 28K, I could see us getting up to like 28, maybe 28.130, something like that to fill this gap. Even through this wedge, I mean, it could wedge all the way up to here right before it collapses. But in order for me to see that, I would want to see it stay within this wedge. If this wedge does this, like this, guys, it's going to set up for just an absolute massive short somewhere around this area, around the 28.2 or so, if we even make it to that, right? But the other key thing you want to look at, guys, we're on the 1 hour, and if you look at the 200 EMA, we're just right there. This is the 200. So you can see we're like right there. We broke it. We tried to reg test to see support. We lost it, and it's literally just right there. On the bearish side, we do have a gap fill here, which is 26,915. That would be probably the range I would give today. And then the low is 26,471. I don't know that we're gonna hit this one quite yet. We would need to see something like this to get back down there, I think. So if on the 1 hour this were to do this, then pump back up to 27.5, then come down to retest the wedge, then retest the neckline, come down for a lower low, come down for a lower high, and then I think we would come down like that. If we had some form of a bearish pattern like this, the double top that plays into the rising wedge, then I would highly tell you to look short. Now, from a bullish, in order for us to remain bullish, we would need to flip this 200 EMA and then maybe create a higher high, higher low, create some kind of like double bottom, right? That would allow us to explode past this and retest this line as support. It would have to be some form of bullish double bottom, with a higher low right here, right? To flip a support. So just keep an eye on your candle movements. The candles, like we always talk about Sakana, the candles will tell you a story. You just have to listen. So that's kind of where I'm at with Bitcoin. I'm not going to really go deep into Ethereum. We have a lot of coins to cover, and we only got about 15 minutes left. But Ethereum is going to pretty much follow Bitcoin. You can see it's got the same wedge. There's a huge gap fill all the way to 1798. Probably very likely to happen at some point today. And it's also fighting the 1 hour EMA. So it's literally doing the same exact thing, guys. So just follow the same charts and patterns. So let's get into the ATAs, guys. This is part of the automated trading session. We have all of these ones here are what I ran through the weekend. Let's check it out and see how they did. We ran ETH long, ETH short, LTC long, LTC short, Matic long, Solana long, and Solana short. So we'll take a look at ETH. I forgot I stopped Aave. Aave probably would have did pretty good too, but that's okay. Let's take a look at ETH. We know that the long was stuck, but we did do a DCA, so we'll look at that. Looks like I have the short loaded, so we'll get into the short. So the short in 7 days made $100, not too bad. You can see it's just done really well. For those of you who are new to this channel, every red spot is where it took a short, every orange spot is where it sold a short. And so you can see over the last few days, it's done 27 trades, it looks like. And this one was a really good one. That was last Wednesday. So that looks like Friday. Friday was around here. All right, so this was all through the weekend. And I don't even look, honestly, guys, I rarely look at these through the weekend. I didn't even look at this, so I had no idea. But it's doing really, really well. We're still only doing the one DCA. I always like to check the settings. So we are short ETH, parabolic SARS. We have one DCA only. And you can see this is on 5/8 is when I started that, so 7 days ago. So short's looking good. We're in a short now. It's almost in profit. It's green, but it's not out in profit yet. So this is our long. We knew we were stuck in this long. You can see we chose to DCA around this support level. So far, it wasn't a bad decision because it did hold as support, and we got a little bit of a push up here. We're not far from our entry, guys. We need to go to about 1859. It's not far, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna do a third DCA until we get like really low, because that's my last DCA that I like to use. So in the meantime, we're just gonna hang out, guys, and just let ETH do its thing. So not making any modifications on ETH. Settings are same. I just have one second DCA in there at 9%. So let's take a look at LTC. When you guys are doing this, it's so much easier if you just look at this as like your to-do list. I have so many other things on my mind that I don't like to think about the ATAs like that. So I like to just, it looks like we're up here. Okay, let's see, 1 minute. Oh man, LTC took a beating over the weekend. Let's see. Oh, this was Sunday. So yeah, it looks like the short got caught in a little bit of a pump. Not that bad. I was zoomed way in, so it looked way worse than it is. We're only about 5 cents away from it, and I can still do my second DCA. So LTC has a tendency to really pump. So I'm gonna hold off on this second DCA for just a little bit, because the primary reason is, guys, if you go to the 1 hour, you can see this red line has been viable support, right? So if we have this explosion, right, to reclaim it, we may just range here, so that DCA is not going to help me a ton anyways quite yet. I would want to see it get up into like 91 maybe, and then I'll DCA, and that would bring my entry up pretty far with it. So if you're running LTC shorts with me, just kind of sit tight. This is, but it made $42 in the 4 days before it got caught. So this is my settings, just one DCA, parabolic SARs, take profits. We started it on the 11th. So let's see, longs look like they were killing it. 12 days, $256. LTC's my favorite. Shorts have killed it for the longest time, and you guys know I activated that long on to get it back to work on it, because we were low in the range as far as where we get these pumps, and that was a good decision. You can see, because looks like we got out of this one here, and then this was kind of the weekend, right? So we bought, sold, bought, sold, bought. I have mine set up as a scalper. Guys, these automated trading assistants, you can set them up on the 5, 10 minute, 15 minute, 4 hour, whatever you want to do. You can set higher profits. I like mine to scalp. It gets in, it makes it profit, and it gets out. So we are currently in a long, no DCAs, and the take profit range is these lines here. Anything above this green line, it's going to take profit. So we have the long. If it pumps above this green line, then it'll take its profit. But until then, it just hangs out. This white line, anything past this white line is where I've cleared it to do one DCA. So so it looks like I did still leave the settings here. I don't need this anymore, because of the fact that, remember, we're not in that. This was back when it had gotten stuck, so we don't need this anymore. So I'm going to uncheck that if you're following me. I'm going to hit OK. All you have to do to add it, remember, any change that you make, you just delete the alert, come back to the 3 dots, click the alert, and you're just going to name it, and then I hit create. That's how fast you guys can do that if you're swapping things around, right? So now keep in mind, it's going to change your stats, because you're no longer, the backdate is not supporting what you actually did, because we made a modification to the defaults, and that's okay. If you guys, because you made a change, if you want to monitor what it did going forward, you could always move this up here. So we can move it to the 15th, and we'll, you just want to put it slightly before the time. And the reason why is you want to make sure this buy is the same buy. If it takes a different buy, you got to fix it, right? But if you close the candle just before it like this, then it's very likely to be the same exact buy, because it's going to read that same code. So, and that'll reset your status bar. So to make sure, if you're one that is like really analytical and you like to follow and track your profits. So remember, this yellow one is always going to be like your close candle, so like a reset button. So LTC, we're good. Shorts, we're going to sit tight on. Longs are earning money. Let's see if Matic ever got out of that long. Remember, we were in that Matic long. I don't know if it ever got out. I honestly didn't look. It did, actually. Look at this. It got out Sunday. Sweet. So it's made 10 days, $37. That's not much, but in all fairness, if you look at here, it was stuck for like ever, I felt like, when we saw it drop down to here. So actually, it looks like this was, this was Wednesday. And so we set a DCA line to here. We didn't really need that. Apparently, it came up anyways. It basically sold it here, bought it, sold it, bought it, and we're in one DCA right now. Second DCA is down here. I'm not going to change the second DCA setting, the 9%, because I'm okay with holding Matic if a DCA is around 79 cents, because that's going to put it down, probably put our entry about 83 or so, which will put us like somewhere around here. So, which is really good entry for Matic. So I'm not going to do much on Matic. I'm just going to leave that. Let's check out Sol. That's our last one. So Sol, I actually added long and short. Let's take a look at the short first. All right, so we are not in a short currently with with Sol. That's doing really well. I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm a little bit overextended, so I don't know if I want to. I'm gonna probably stop. What? Let me see. Hold on. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the part where you want to balance, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 longs, 1, 2, 3 shorts. I don't know that I quite want to go that top heavy on longs yet, although I think we could go further north. I don't know that it's going to explode. I'll take a look at I'm going to leave this for today and we'll assess it tomorrow. So I'll let this go ahead and take more shorts. I do worry that it is near this support line, and you can see it is ranging, which means it has been holding. That likely means it's going to have some kind of push north. But I'll just leave one DCA. We can get out of it pretty easily if it does pump on us. Longs are doing well. You can see the 3 days made $26. Oh, I didn't even see. Yeah, $22. We made $50 from Sol just over the weekend. You can see we got a buy, we got a DCA. It's actually, if you look, so anything past. So if you're following along with this, when you do the buy, it's going to mark your take profits. The white line is your entry. If you notice the white line drops, that is because that is the new entry from the DCA. So this is our entry, so we're actually green. We're almost in profit here on Sol. So, yep, so that one should be good. So honestly, it's funny because a lot of times on Mondays I like to make changes because I'm more aggressive on the weekends. But I don't think I'm gonna make any changes, guys, because we have enough stuff earning. We've had a good couple weeks. I'm gonna trust the one DCA process. So if you're following with me, you guys are welcome to do that. Keep in mind, I did want to say something because somebody brought this up on one of my one-on-ones. I am at times more aggressive than I probably should be. Always based on how aggressive you are on whether you can add funds, right? You have to manage your own risk. So to me, our default says running 2 pairs, both long and short for the minimum. So, if you're running Gambit, right, the minimum is 5,000. You'd run the 2 pairs. That's the one that I'm running. But the thing with that is, if you're running the minimum amount and you're running over that default, you could put your account at risk if it goes wrong, right? If it goes bad. It hasn't gone bad in months, right, that we've been doing this, but it could, right? And so I'm okay with running 7 different directions or, through the pairs, but because I can add funds if I have to. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to follow all of them that I'm doing. If I say things like, I'm running Sol, but it could be risky if it gets stuck, we'll work our way out. Maybe you don't want to run that one, right? Or maybe you don't want to run the Rogue Matic long that I'm running, right? Pick 2 pairs and stick with those following my direction. And then if you're one that is tight on money and you just really you can't risk losing it, you just want to, first of all, if you can't risk losing it, you shouldn't be doing it. But if you just really can't add funds, like you're kind of living tight and you're looking to make this supplemental income, then you just want to make sure that you're following to at a safer level. So just listen to what I say. If I say something's risky but I'm going to do it, you may not want to do it, right? Just keep that in mind. So but that is kind of what I'm running. If you guys were following along, you guys can watch this. If you caught on to it late, you guys can go to my the YouTube channel that we do for Bajak, which is it's ATA_trader, TRADER, and you just go to YouTube and you can watch all our videos. Or better yet, you guys can come in here and you can sign up and to our plans for free, and you can come in and check out the community events and all that stuff's in there. So I'm going to go ahead and drop off, guys. For those in the community, I will open up the room. Give me about 15 minutes or so, maybe 20. And then I'll open that up. Super excited to trade today because y'all know how I love to trade the ranges when they get higher like this because it's just so much money to be made. My biggest days come from when the options get up into the ranges that they just have to go one way. Pretty much. I mean, it's just how they play out usually. So, but I appreciate you guys' time. We'll see you guys in the room. I'll put that in.